Very important announcement, within the Plaza in the top sellers section, they are selling DAJI or Sloan's ripples. This one is also the same. They cost $50, but this one has 35 gold records and this one has 7 shimmer records. And there's also a bunch of other choices as well: Yuime, Fengshun, Fushi, Chuyao, Sakura, Amir, Sloan, and Elif. But realistically, you're gonna go for DAJI or Sloan because those cannot be Wishstone. But the thing is, these ripple boxes, I don't know if they changed it, will not allow you to get an Esper that you don't have. So if you don't have DAJI or Sloan to begin with, I don't know if you can get them. For $50, you might not even get your DAJI. If you don't own her in the first place, then you can't get her. I don't know why they do this. Okay, let me give you an example, right? I don't have Zohong, I don't have Suizai for the win one. Okay, I'm gonna go to my backpack or inventory and click on Ripple Box, go for Inferno, and I'm gonna see if there's any Zohong. No Zohong right here. Where is he? He's not here as well. He's also not here. So I can't get him. What about Suizai? This win, no Suizai here, no Suizai here, and he's nowhere to be seen. So I don't know what they're doing with this pack. Because if you don't have DAJI or Sloan to begin with, you can't even get them, right? From this box. This box doesn't allow you to get an Esper you don't have. It says right here, unowned Esper. Why even put DAJI or Sloan there, bruh? But let's say if you are the Prince of Dubai, you have unlimited money. Is this pack worth it to go for DAJI or Sloan? I mean, if you have unlimited money, obviously you can do whatever you want. But right now, Sloan is being used for all 3 of the False Auto Fantasy bosses. And for Forbiter, the team can reach upwards of like 70 million if you have an R2 Shuan pin. For Sonica, the team can reach upwards of 140 to 150 million. That's the maximum score you can get. And for Dark Starlord, you can get, I think, about 110 million with an R6 Sloan. Aside from False Auto Fantasy, Sloan is also being used in Chronos. You can get a 3 to 5 turns Chronos runs. If you get really lucky, 3 turns is possible with a Sloan team. But realistically, you're gonna get between 4 to 5 turns. She is decent for Yinglong, but not the best. Elif is still like the best unit for this one, and you're not gonna be using Sloan right here. And for the Shadow bosses, she is no longer being used. She was the best DPS for Shadow Fire, but now is replaced by Ming Shuo. And for PvP, she is a hit or miss. There's only 5 players running her in Knockout right now, with the eyes only being 13,000. Now as for DAJI, she's not being used for any of these False Auto Fantasy bosses. She's not being used for any of the Ritual Miracle anymore. She was good for Apex, but not anymore. And for the Shadow boss, she is only being used for Shadow Glow, but I think she's gonna stay for a very long time because she is one of the only DPS that resets her S3 if she cannot land the debuff. And since the boss is immune to debuffs, she will always reset her S3. So I think DAJI is going to stay as the best DPS for Shadow Glow for a very long time. For PvP, however, she is still like one of the top meta. She's not the main meta, but she is very strong. There are here 14,000 points, 14,000 again, and running her in the standard 4 supports team is yielding 13,800 points. Again, just a lot of points overall, but she does need her R6. Without her R6, she is not going to work for PvP. The main thing about her R6 is her debuff becomes AoE, and her debuff is one of the strongest debuff in the game for PvP. Because it has minus 100% resist, minus 100% miss rate, and also the carrier gains taunt every single turn. So when she does her S3, she's gonna put this puppet art debuff on all of the enemies and they will all be taunted. This is the reason why she is insanely broken for PvP. So at this point, DAJI needs her R6 and she has been pretty much delegated to only purely PvP at this point. So the final verdict, these packs, in my opinion, is not worth it. For Sloan, she is still very good for PvE. She's the second best team for False Auto Fantasy for each of the bosses, and she's the best unit for Chronos, but outside of that, she doesn't really have much place anymore. And again, for $50, you only get 25 of their ripples. Keep in mind, it's not even a full copy. You need to buy 2 of these packs in order to gain 1 full copy. And DAJI as well, she has been delegated to only PvP at this point, and she needs her R6. And again, for $50 and only 25 of their ripples. And not only that, if you don't have the unit, unowned Espers. If you don't have DAJI or Sloan, you can't even get them to begin with. So yeah, this pack makes no sense. That's about it, ciao.